Since 2004, Facebook has been creeping into dorm rooms and spreading like wildfire into professional offices and business operations. In the past 2 years alone, Facebook quadrupled its active user base to over 400 million profiles. From posting about drunken hookups to announcing breakups, Facebook has become an integral part of our social lives. Many people fail to realize that Facebook is not just about sharing blackout moments and sex stories. It's an online footprint that defines who you are, not only to your friends, but to everyone in cyberspace. What does your Facebook say about you?
Yeah, I mean, I've seen like pictures of people who like take a day off work and then they write on their Facebook, like, so I told my boss I wasn't going to work, and then her boss sees it on their Facebook.
Mainly, I might have some photos that involve liquor, and I'm an athlete, so pretty much I don't drink, but my friends around me, so it might portray a bad image on the athletes at the school.
I did hear in high school this girl took a picture of herself kind of naked and sent it to her boyfriend, and he put it up, or sent it to some guy, and he put it up on Facebook.
Yeah, some of my friends have had ex-girlfriends find out about things before they can untag a picture, like a few hours later or something like that, if they're dancing with somebody they shouldn't be dancing with, and get a picture taken.
I had a forum spring with people asking me random questions. Well, I don't know who the people are, and they took those questions and made it into an article on the Detroit Free Press.
You hear of the kind of the one-off anecdotes of somebody who's had a job offer rescinded or has been called into the office because of a Facebook picture, whatnot. So it does happen. I'm not suggesting that it doesn't, but in our research, there was not one who had ever rescinded or an offer based on a Facebook profile.
But like Karen said, that doesn't mean it doesn't happen. And we don't want it to happen to you. After talking to a ton of people about Facebook habits, including employees and employers, all the writers on the site came up with a list of tips to help you use Facebook appropriately. Number 1, set your Facebook to friends only and remove friends you don't communicate with.
While you think you have privacy, you more have the illusion of privacy. If one of your settings is, a friend of a friend could see it and you have 1,000 friends, 1,000 times whatever number they have pretty much makes your private profile pretty public.
Number 2, untag any questionable photos. We don't want any of you to end up as our bad Facebook examples from earlier. Rule of thumb, if you wouldn't show your grandma, don't put it online.
Now, if you are an artist and you want to create a showcase of your work and have photos of your work, a different type of story. If there's something about what you're doing that has a visual component, then there might be a Facebook use for that.
Number 3, filter the rest of your Facebook, like fan pages, wall posts, and groups, to include only those things that are integral to your personality.
If you are a very staunch member or a supporter of that political group and it's a deal breaker for an employer to know that and that's your point of view, then I would say show it, because that's really who you are. If for you the organization that you're joining is something that you really also value, and you think those two things might be at odds, then I think you have a decision to make.
But this doesn't mean you can't have a personality online. We've just got to get better at using Facebook appropriately. Which leads to tip number 4. Use social media to connect with people in your industry. This can be a really positive career move.
So journalism, for example, I would, say that I would, encourage you to create a LinkedIn account and then join some groups of other, up-and-coming journalists. Try to think about them as part of the community in which you would like to belong, so that both you become a more informed job searcher, knowing the issues, knowing the angles, knowing who some of the key players are, and then also some of the outlets possibly that you might seek out employment opportunities that you might not have known about had you not been engaging with these people.
Last but not least, seek out advice if you want to know more about the social media standards in your industry. We recommend doing a Google search of a big company in your field and using its social media guidelines as an example. To sum it up, Use Facebook and other digital media as resources, not just for your social life. It's becoming more and more important in the business worlds and will likely be vital in the future.
5-10 years from now, everybody who, is in, not everybody, but a good majority who are in hiring positions or decision-making positions will have grown up and lived with Facebook, and so in some ways we'll be able to tap into it more. We'll have less fears about what they see.
If you want to keep talking about it, leave some comments below or send us an email. Better yet, post this video on your Facebook.